Mm.
Checkity check. Uh, that's odd. When I try my audio, like check, it looks like it's all working.
You sound good to me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, bro. How's it
What's
going?
happening?
It's finally happening. Sorry about that. Sometimes Discord and audio just get wonky. Uh,
Yeah.
I tried like from my phone to my laptop to the PC and then back through again, and it seems like landing on the PC at least is working for the moment. So we should be good, hopefully. Oh geez, am I still here?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, good. Jose should be joining us shortly, maybe like 10 minutes or so. We'll see. I might try and switch back to the phone here, but at least we're good. So, put my pods away. Forgot that it's like holiday weekend and everybody's or not everybody, a lot of people are on the road getting into Lisbon, so it might be kind of a small crowd tonight, but you know, we got it recorded. We should be out on X and I think on Lonely as well, so we might have some listeners peeking in from here and there. But awesome to have you over on the corner. Definitely been a while, and it's just been super fun reconnecting a little and getting to hear about you know what you've been working on. Let's see if you want to just like you know we could talk about any old thing before we really jump into the brunt of it. If you want to give Jose a few minutes, I know that
Yeah,
you know
and
really
I'm hoping Marcus shows up too, my partner, but we'll see.
great,
I don't know.
awesome, yeah. And I mean you
Yeah,
know it is what it is. We get to hang, and we can always, you know, get back together for another one of these and stuff too.
right.
Oh, give me a sec. Kill that alarm. Um, but yeah, how was your weekend? Did you get to do anything interesting or fun or exciting? I know that you know, being holiday weekend, some people were getting together with friends or family, or I kind of hid out because out here where I'm at, it's just like massive invasion of the tourists from all over coming to like the beach. So I literally was like pretty much locked up inside. I was house sitting for a friend actually who
Right.
went camping. So it was kind of like a, you know, a little mini stay in vacay for the weekend, just being at a different spot. It's a really nice spot. And yeah, I had a pretty mellow and decent weekend. But did you get out, do anything interesting, anything fun?
Nothing too crazy. I've been really, sewing these puppets. So it's like
Yeah,
all my time off lately has been that I'm trying to get done with what like the final character for now, and
nice.
then try to get back in like video production stuff.
Cool, cool. Well, I mean, let's see. I'm trying to think if there was any like interesting wild news to share. I was kind of unplugged this weekend too. I guess there's you know, I mean, I'm somewhat watching the markets and they've been all right. Nothing like crazy. But I did hear today, who was it? It was oh God, I'm blanking on the name. What is it? Jenna, like what's the crazy um like influencer famous person that you know has done all the sexy time switcheroos and stuff put out like a meme coin just like yesterday or something. So I guess we're getting back to that part of the cycle where like rando like you know quote unquote famous people or you know maybe we'll see some of the actors and shit starting to come back in and trying to do like you know random weird stuff. So I don't know. It does seem like a bullish signal for the market. Oh yeah, it was the Caitlyn Jenner coin or something I think,
Yeah.
which I will not be getting. But it was just like okay, that's interesting. You know, definitely a kind of signal to market when that kind of weird stuff starts popping off. So who knows? It's might get wild as we get closer to like you know voting for presidents and all that stuff too. So you know it's there's definitely some silly stuff and interesting stuff going on out in the wider field of Web3.
Yeah. It's funny. I've been a bit away from it with this whole project. It's like
Yeah,
it's almost like I had to go away from it to make it, I don't know, make this whole thing work out. So I really haven't been paying attention to much of the market stuff, and
nice.
I feel like the market will, um, in my case, will kind of like it. I don't know. It'll come back around and I'll notice it.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
market's gonna market. Like that's just a thing. Whether you're watching or not, it's going up and down. So like I don't think necessarily, unless you're like a day trader or something, that's the best use of the time. I kind of enjoy when I just like don't pay attention for a while and then I'm like, oh, things are popping up. Or you're like, oh, we're in a big dip. Maybe I throw in a few hundo over here. But yeah, I think it's a nice way to go about things, not being like tied to charts and markets. In the early days, I was watching charts all the time, and it was just like, why? I prefer diving into the creative aspect of things like I know you've been doing. Well, maybe we just start jumping in a little bit and share with the people a little bit of what you've been working on for the last couple years, and we can then jump into kind of the broader vision and stuff. I'm sure Jose will be up with us soon, and maybe Marcus jumps in too. But we could kind
Yeah,
of
Marcus,
kick
he's
the
working
tires
on.
a bit.
I'm trying to get him to. I don't know where he is. And he says he's around. I can't find him. So if if anybody who doesn't know me, I haven't been around for a long time now, but I was uh someone who was pretty in tune with the like virtual world side of things on Web3, and was really early adapter, DCL, and even CryptoVoxels and all these other ones where I learned how to build in all these different 3D worlds and stuff like that. And eventually got a job working with Vegas City for a while, and that was cool. But I felt at some point that I was just like working a job, rather
Mhm.
than like pursuing a dream like we all started.
Yeah.
So I kind of like started thinking like how does this all tie together or whatever. So Marcus and I, whenever he shows up, but yeah, Marcus and I, always been, we've been close for 30 years. So it's like we're coming up with this idea, like how do we come up with like a YouTube channel? And at first it wasn't necessarily like a YouTube channel, like uh just it wasn't so random, or it was more random. And then we started kind of like kicking around different ideas about what we wanted to do. And then Marcus had brought up the idea of using sock puppets. And then uh one thing led to another basically, because at one point Marcus goes, "Oh, my puppet's gonna be a pimp." And at that point, like, well, we're gonna need nicer puppets. So so I started learning how to build nicer puppets, real nice puppets. And I can actually let me do the link thing right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you wanna screen share or drop, you should be safe to drop links. We don't have Dragonate because he's in Lisbon.
Mhm.
Um, but let's see. Let me just look at the. Yeah, yeah, you're good. You should be good for dropping links. Yeah, if you want to screen share anything too, or turn on a cam, can totally do that. I usually kind of have my cam on for these sometimes, but right now, as I could only get audio on the PC, I don't have a webcam rigged on that one.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely share
Yeah,
any
I can show
visuals
the
and stuff.
workstation in a second. I'm just trying to give a little bit of background here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, um, we start kicking around the idea of making puppets. So I started making the puppets, and then we got a little deeper into the concept of what we wanted to do, and so we ended up kind of deciding on was wanted to still use all the metaverse stuff that we learned over the past whatever amount of years that we were in this. And so we decided to superimpose the puppets over virtual backgrounds and have them kind of live within like quote unquote the metaverse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the concept is being like if the Muppets, kind of like were the first puppets to use TV, we want to be like the first ones to really use the virtual world in that way.
Nice.
So we would use like make sets, on another. I've made a couple, but it is quite a task, and that's what we'll get into in a little bit here. But make sets in 3D and then superimpose the scene, whatever you're trying to act with the puppet over that set. So that's the general concept of what Threadheads is.
Hells yeah.
One second,
Meta
I'm trying to find
Meta
Marcus.
Muppets. I just recalled when you were talking about building the virtual sets and stuff, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember if it was like hubs. I remember Jin and Boombox Head were building those like studios where you would have like maybe like a kind of like a let's say a stage, maybe like a
Mhm.
couch or a little sitting area where like your avatars could kind of be chilling. And then there was even like, like a sound room, and like it was crazy. This was like years ago too. They like made one for Cypher and threw it over to me and Ken. But that just is something that like popped back into my head. That's like, yo, we might have some pretty interesting virtual space assets to be able to include, that might just be able to use a little bit of tweaking or something. I'll have to look back. I'm gonna go way, way back through some notes and try and find that link, specifically the one that they had made. I think they had like maybe a Token Smart one and definitely a Cipher one. I'm gonna have to go peep those. It's been a while. But yeah, so far, super
Let
dope.
me
I
see.
see we do have Jose with us. Jose, welcome, welcome.
Is there like so?
Hey
Marcus
guys,
sent me a screenshot saying showing like that he's in the audience, but I don't see him in the
Oh,
audience.
I don't either. Is he?
hey
Let's
hey, do you hear
see.
me?
Yeah, we got you. We got you. Let me see. I don't see Marcus in the
Screen
audience.
sharing, you say?
Let's try.
He's already screen sharing.
I don't
Is
think
this
so.
no? Just trying to
I don't see
find
it.
get
I don't
Marcus
see it.
into the
But
thing, but I can't see him. And
I don't
he's like I
see
said,
him.
he
oh,
sent me a
okay.
screenshot. You can see us
I,
on stage.
I wonder if he's okay, what's his screen name? Because we might
Doctor,
need to give him. Say it again.
the doctor.
The
I'll tell
doctor.
you. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
it's
I think
the THA Doctor DOCTA 4K.
the Doctor 4K. All right, I think Trizlet is going to try and get him. He might need like a verification permission or something like that. So I think that Trizlet can probably do that manually. Sometimes the verification stuff gets hung up depending on like, you know, I don't know if you've got your like emails and phone numbers all registered correctly with the freaking Discord or whatnot. So hopefully we can manually shoot him in here, because yeah, I didn't see him either, but he might be in like kind of in between right now. So we'll
Yeah,
see what
I just
see
sent him a message. Let him know.
what we're working on it in the back end. Um, I do see Dolphin. Welcome, Dolphin. Louis baby in the house. Meow, 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 meow,
Good,
meow.
Lou.
Brookawk, caw, and good old Bam Mom Mama Binks. So we got some homies in the house.
Well, I guess while we're waiting for Marcus, I can pull up my video now. I can show you guys around the place. So we have.
Cool.
Well, this is where I build everything here. And we have a couple of different. So that's Fred.
What up, Fred?
Woohoo!
He's the
That's
puppet that I'm
amazing,
going to
bro.
be probably acting the most. It's kind of my character.
Nice.
We did this one. I'm sure you guys all appreciate this one. This one's actually fashioned off their board 8. So
Dude,
that's Elvin.
epic.
And then I'm working
Monkey
on a
business.
villain character now.
That's so great. That's so great. I always dreamed like doing a video with my family with the puppets. I
Totally.
just visualize it like Louis. Yeah,
Ooh.
I just
Oh,
visualize it Louis with
Louis already
like a
wants to
hip
be a
hop head.
puppet. Oh wait, show me that
Yeah,
jackass
I
again.
I totally see it.
Was that a donkey,
That would
bro?
be
You just
so
bust out like a
amazing.
donkey?
So that puppet has actually got like a deep backstory. That puppet is fashioned after this character called the Nexialis from like one of the first virtual worlds,
Oh shit, yeah.
worlds.com. It was like this documentary I saw on YouTube about it, and then that kind of like um that made me kind of like always wanted to have something to do with that character just because it was like the first virtual world. It was just crazy, like kind of cultish thing. It's kind of hard. It's a long video. You got to kind of watch it, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of like one of those. I got like a metaverse, like I don't know how to explain it. It's
Some deep lore.
yeah, there we go. Some like deep metaverse lore. Yeah, so he's gonna be our villain character, and what we intend to do is have it be more like SNL sketch comedy kind of thing, you know.
Hell yeah.
Um, so that's what we want to do. Again, we started doing this not knowing anything about anything, I would say. So it was like it's been a huge learning process, whether it's been building the puppets or learning the video production side of things. And I already kind of knew about building scenes, but that's cool. But I still have to build the puppets and we do all the other things. So we definitely want to start building a team now. Like we have the concept down, we know how to build the puppets now. But doing elaborate sets and sketch comedy and stuff like that is going to require more people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Ooh, I also just thought of like I know Vipe is working like all over the place. They got their little like Vipe rooms and shit like that. It could be kind of cool to maybe work in some like you take your if you have a Vipe, it has its own specialized room. You could take that, drop it into like Nifty Island or wherever. I could see maybe down the line using those type of like semi-familiar spaces to do something in, like to be able to take something like that, blow it up or something, because you can just make it whatever size you want and be able to
Yeah.
basically use that as a background and have a scene and like something where somebody's like, oh shit, like that's like, over here. I know that
So,
island.
yeah, so like the long-term goal when it comes to that, right? What we want to do is build 3D sets where we shoot our, different videos. So let's say, whatever, we have this series of videos. Let's call it a season.
Mhm.
We have like a series of videos that we did, and we build these different 3D sets, for those scenes, for those videos, and then those different sets would compile like a scene, like a 3D scene that has all our sets on it, almost like something you could like Nick Studios or something. So then you could have that series of scenes as one set that's put into a virtual world that now you're like fans can come check out the scene, and then you obviously can add interactivity and so on.
Oh, yeah. We do uh have the doctor, looks like, verified. He just might need to jump out and back. So I'm trying to shoot him a message here in the chat if he's getting on. But yeah, before I couldn't even tag him. So he's definitely now like in the Token Smart system. He might just need to restart his Discord for that all to take effect, and then he should be able to just jump on in and we'll invite him up. Yo, this is massive for I know like the few peeps hanging with us I think will understand the kind of vast scope and scale of trying to do something like this. I mean, it just hasn't been done.
Right.
Not in Web3. Like we do have, some anime like shorts. We got,
Mm.
some kind of documentaries. Obviously, we've got some virtual worlds, but nothing really bringing this much physicality into that virtual space, I feel. So like I know you guys
And
have
the
been at this
concept
a long
too
time.
about this is like, you know, the handmade puppets would signify the only real thing in the world. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So like as we go into using AI editing tools and stuff like that, we're gonna be able to do funny things like turn them into cartoons, add legs, whatever, do all kinds of stuff.
Totally.
And like with all that being said, the main characters stay as handmade puppets, and that's the only tie to the real world.
Right. Hell yeah. Shut the pop my camera on with you. I might I
How's,
might
how's Marcus doing now? Still no good?
let's see. Yeah, yeah. When we get him in, let me see. I'm gonna check. He got tagged a few times, but I haven't seen in the chat yet. So hopefully he, like I said, I think maybe a hard restart of the Discord might get him in.
Yeah, I just sent him a
Um,
message.
And then if we get him up, maybe we'll just do a quick, because we got a couple people like Brookhawk
There he
jumped
goes.
in a little late. So maybe we'll do a quick recap for the couple. Oh, there he is. Let me get him
Yeah,
up. Let
yeah,
me
you see
get him
enough.
up. Invited to speak. Nice. All right, we got the full crew.
Hello.
All right.
Hey,
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 there we
get out
goes.
of here.
Hey, Marcus.
All right. Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Dope, dope. All right, should we run it back real quick? You wanna give the quick overview, and while you're doing that, I'm gonna see if I can switch device again, and then maybe I can hop on cam with you guys.
Cool. I will start again with the I'll do the links first, just to anybody that didn't see them.
Okay.
So I'm just putting the links in the live chat, Marcus.
Cool.
All right. So this whole thing basically, started me and Marcus kind of like when I was doing a lot of building in virtual worlds and wanted to find a way to do some sort of like YouTube channel thing. Like we always wanted to do something creative. And at one point, Marcus gonna be like, "Oh, let's use sock puppets." And so I made a sock. Actually, I have him somewhere. But yeah, made a sock puppet, and then he had mentioned, "Oh, I want my sock puppet to be a pin." And then actually, Marcus, I don't know if you have a picture of your puppet. Um, so I probably have one somewhere. But yeah, so then that sent us down the road of making like much more higher quality puppets. And so then we figured like how are we going to use them and how are we going to incorporate like all this metaverse stuff that we've learned over the time or whatever. So that's kind of where this whole idea of what Threadheads is started coming to. So basically wanted to use the handmade puppets superimposed over digital backgrounds, whether that is 3D virtual world or even 2D stuff, especially to start 2D because it started to become a lot more like time and computer intensive than we probably ever planned in the beginning. Um, but it is coming together now a little bit. We've been using a lot of 2D backgrounds on our videos just to not have to build a 3D set, even though I can. But again, that's, it's either build a 3D set or make a puppet, you know. Uh, but yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing. And then we've been wanting to incorporate like sketch comedy. That's kind of like the angle we want to take when it comes to what we're trying to build with what we're trying to present with the videos. Uh, and again, that's kind of where we're at now, and we're looking to kind of like get our Discord going and kind of like get people that are interested in working and helping out with this.
Hells yeah. You copy?
Yep, I see.
Nice, nice. Yeah, dude, one of the things that has me like super excited about this is the fact that it's not just, all super focused on like Web3 content. This is a wider
Right.
array of entertainment, really coming from, like you say, kind of taking that SNL vibe of sketch comedy. You can hit anything with that, and like the
Mhm.
medium, I think, is just is super original. And as I was saying earlier, like nobody's done anything like this, tying it into Web3. And puppetry is like a really amazing art. I mean, we have Jose with us too, who his whole family
Yeah,
has been doing puppetry for
that's
generations.
something we haven't even got talking about
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, there's so
But when
much.
I got to talking to Easy about this thing, we can kind of segue into that now. I reached out to Easy, just talking about maybe trying to find a way to link with more people on this. And he mentioned that Jose whole family is puppeteers. And then we had a conversation and it went really well. And it was cool for me because I had been helping with different streams and Token Smart and stuff like that in the past. So I watched a lot of content of Jose's. So I had a good feel for who he was, and I was happy that was like the connection. I was like, man, that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's freaking. It's like meant to be when those things start falling in place. And so, but you guys have been working on this for like what, close to a couple years from when kind of the inception
Yeah,
started kicking
it's a
around.
year. I think it's a year and a half since I started making puppets. Yeah.
Nice,
And that's
nice.
just the puppet part. You know, we've obviously been thinking about this and that with the video stuff, but definitely with the puppets, it's been a year and a half.
And what about like, so you were mentioning, you know, it obviously takes a lot of time to build a physical puppet. It also takes a lot of time to build like a 3D area. What about using some kind of, and you had mentioned the AI. I wonder if there
Mhm.
is, I mean, if not yet, very soon, we'll probably have some kind of AI where you could like maybe make like a kind of 1D background or something and like show it to the
Yeah,
AI and be like interpolate this into like a 3D setting or something. That would like
yeah,
be a crazy.
yeah. All these tools are on the way. That's another thing that I was pretty like when I was working for Vegas City, I found myself with a ton of free time. So I started researching AI pretty heavily at that time as well. So yeah, you're right. We're right around the corner from these tools, and I plan on using every AI shortcut out, you know,
Oh
because
yeah.
that's it's part of it. It's like it's something I don't want to shy away from because it's like the opposite, where like the industry is scared of AI and you know, and I want to take these handmade puppets and use AI. You know, like
In
it's
reality,
kind
what
of
we're doing, what we're doing is using AI in the present because part of our video editing is using AI to blend the backgrounds into, or I'm sorry, blend the
it's true.
puppets into the background and remove the screen behind them to
That is
place them
true
in the
actually,
screen.
because I don't know if anybody has After Effects, but we use Roto Brush in order to take the backgrounds away. So essentially, that's an AI all about in its own right, you know.
Yeah. I mean, without the kind of tools that, and most of these are probably, like you said, right around the corner. They're not quite here yet. But without that, you would need, I don't know, like a 10-person production team or something to try and do this, right? Because what was I mean, you know, Sesame Street, big puppet, you know, or Muppets, big, you know, they would have had, you know, 50 people on set or more for something like a, you know, a Muppet movie. That's like hundreds of people. So to try and do something, you know, maybe not as grand of a scale, but even to just work in multiple puppet characters, having your different backgrounds, that's like a crazy amount of work that just I don't think would be
And then there's
possible.
scene writing, which is another thing that we
Oh,
run into now, which is like we thought we were cool until you try to write something funny, you know, and then it's like, you know, me and Marcus make jokes all the time, then we laugh all night. But the reality is something that sticks and there's something that has longevity. Those are difficult to write, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's
I've
and it's
been checking out some literature lately on like, you know, writing, you know, about just, you know, general screenwriting and comedy writing because it's like something I never really looked into. I just was like, I'm funny, you know.
right.
Nah,
Oh
you
man,
know.
so different going from like bantering with the friends where shit's just, you know, hitting to like sitting down and trying to write that out. It's, I mean, I've, you know, even just like whatever, writing rhymes or short stories or, you know,
Mhm.
trying to do a little funny something. It is like a whole different mindset and it's tough. Yeah. Got to get them tools.
I just love the potential idea of doing that with friends, and like I just see, like, like the entanglement of the like overall journey. I don't know how can match this with Pass the Pen or Page Dao, or if it's a possibility, but I just see how it matches with Louis, with Page Dao, with my family, with what things I want to do, and like with the mainstream media at the same time. Like it's
Right.
both organic, scalable, and I don't know. I'm just super happy about it because the idea of scripting and doing that iteration, it sounds like songwriting in a band. It sounds like a band. So I
You know
like
what
it.
else, Jose?
Sorry.
Uh, no, it's okay. But you know, the other thing is like I didn't want to have like the handcuffs of Web3 so much. You know what I mean? Like I love what we've been doing over the years, but it did feel like on the artistic side it was always like, you know, it had like a lack of general art because it was like look at art like trash art. You know, it's like I get it, but at some point, we got to invite the rest of the world.
Yeah, the laser focus and like I mean most people just wouldn't get it if you're only focused on Web3. Yeah, like our group of people would get it, but
It's like
what
a giant inside joke, like
right,
all the art has been like a giant inside joke. Yeah.
totally. So if you just want to stay in this, click, then yeah, you could totally do something all Web3 focused, but really like why? It's the same thing I feel with like Web3 music. Like, yeah, throw some references in, throw some, like funny little Easter eggs and stuff. But if you can't appeal to a wider audience, then you're kind of just like perpetuating this like little circle that we've been in for years. And yeah, it slowly branches out to like another little layer of the onion. I think this is something that would anybody would be able to enjoy like a funny puppet skit. And then if you like get into it, you're like, whoa, wait, these guys are like tied into all this interesting, metaverse virtual stuff. And then like, you start picking up on a little of this and that. Or if crypto some, you'd be like, right, you'd be like, oh shit, like this has got the underlay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the metaverse stuff or the Web3 stuff. Let's say those are like the deep cut references. And we can still joke about regular stuff too. It's just, you might have something in the background, like a crypto cat in the background or something crazy. You know what I mean? Like
I just visualize it like La Rochela was the humor show my grandma worked on the 70s, 80s, and they had like a group of scripters that did that. Like it was like a big school. So I visualize it like, all of us, we have a different background. What if we are all into a school with the cliches of all the global schools we were being and creating that chaos on a school, like I don't know. I remember in my case, like actually too much stuff. I don't know what is this. This is not financial advice. We used to drink rum in our peer juice when I was on like third of secondary, and we used to if you fall asleep in the class, we used to grab your backpack. This happened to me, so I used to sleep a lot, so I started sleeping with my back tied to my leg. But the thing that they do is that they grab your backpack, and they cover it on tape, and they will do you know what an engrapadora is?
A stapler.
Stapler, and they use a stapler en el cierre del bolso. How do you say? Zip.
So
The
they
zipper
just
of the back. Yeah, they just
staple your zipper closed.
yeah, and they put tape into the bag, and then they throw that into the bathroom of the girls or the boys, depending on your gender. And that was like daily stuff. I don't know. There's just so much mess. I don't know what of that can be like a content, right? But I don't know. Maybe just by sharing the stories, sharing the anecdotes, we will get to something where all these universe can collide into a quantum entanglement of good humor that doesn't have to have a connection to Web3, but us that we met on Web3.
Yeah, and it's such a great art form for kind of a little humorous attack on any point in like society, whether that's from politics to finances to education to like what's cool and hip these days, or like throwbacks to like old school stuff. I mean, it's wide open. I could see
actually was one of the points that we made early on. We decided to not go with like skin color. My character is green, Marcus' character is blue. The other character is pink. It's a monkey. You make sure that you're not like, because we can act out all kinds of different scenarios, and it don't have to be. To me, it don't have to be about that.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, and it like really anything and everything is open for that kind of interpretation on a skit type show. And then even like I know that you're just kind of starting to like get a Discord organized and stuff like that, but I could see like what Jose was saying, how they'd get a group of writers together almost like a school or a troupe or something, and like say, okay, we've got like a couple ideas. We're first going to kind of like, get a little bit of juice on both and then decide on which one to go with and then work that out. Like that would be really fucking cool process in a Discord with people from across the globe. You got Jose in Venezuela, you got me, Cali, you guys on the East Coast, you could have someone from Africa and people from Europe, like to be able to come together for like a little writing session or something is just
That's
something that's
actually
gonna be really cool.
that's actually what I look forward to in building out the Discord, because you can say like, all right, where you have a channel where you make a channel because you're working on a scene. All right, everybody, this is this scene's channel. That way, if somebody can't work on 3-4 videos in a row, that's fine, and see them
Yep.
on the next one or whatever that is, and so it keeps everything kind of fluid as well,
Yeah.
Everybody that wants to work is there, and then anybody that needs to have time away, whatever that is, you can do that,
Nice. And then what do you like how would it work, say, if Jose has like, puppets in the family? So let's say you've got your character, Marcus has got his, we got the ape. Say Jose wants to have a character that's like this funny bird or whatever that
Mhm.
is. How do you work that in? Pretty easy. You just throw up a
So
green
okay, yeah,
screen.
that's actually, yeah, that's easy. That's as easy as anything else. Like if like let's say one of you guys wanted to, like Jose has puppet, so let's say he wanted to do one of his puppets, just do it over a flat colored screen that's like, not the same color as the puppet, you know, and then send the video, and then we can roto brush that thing out and then put it into whatever, and get it into editing,
Right.
from there. So it's actually not the process of getting the video to us and then like having to edit is not that bad. It's just the editing out of the background does take a huge amount of time. It's crazy how, like, I have a pretty powerful computer, so does Marcus, and it don't matter. It takes a long
Right.
time
Right.
to
Super
edit those
resource
backgrounds out.
intensive.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
another question though is, do you have to like at least kind of block it out, or do you have enough freedom to kind of just like, you could, if let's say they're going for a high five or something, like that can
Mhm.
just be anywhere. Like he doesn't have to like hit a mark to be in the middle of the screen or something like that to be able to
Nah,
use.
because if you were doing that, you'd have one layered over the other, one over the back. So when they get close and touch like that, you make a sound.
Nice.
You put a sound there, and it would kind of like signify that happened.
I mean,
That's
such
kind of the way I
a
look at it. I mean, all of this is all too. I'm learning this stuff on the fly when it comes to ideas for different video edits or what. And usually, it's easier for me to have the idea first and then go find out how to do it rather than just know how to use all the tools within
right.
Premiere or After Effects or whatever it is. It's just easier for me to have the idea and then like, well, how do I do this? All right, well,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
pick up tips and tricks as you go that way.
Right. Then you can reapply, anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, that's one of the super cool things about like where we are with the technology is you don't have to have everybody in the studio. So, whether that's, of course for like anybody can be writing lines and kind of like working on that stuff, or maybe
Mhm.
a 3D asset that's going to go in, but it just makes it like so open to have, yeah, anybody could learn how to make a puppet or buy a puppet or whatever, and basically be able to like get involved and be a part of something.
Yeah, and we may have our characters that we, let's say, me and Mark, we have our kind of like our 4 characters or whatever it is now. I think 5 because of the sock puppet. So we have our characters, we want to work with and stuff. But I envision like Threadheads being kind of like the community, if you will, the universe. So then it's like if Jose had 5 puppets that he wanted to use over there and he wanted to do his own thing, if it was in the same strain, then we're all just living in a digital world. As long as nobody, the only thing that the real rule is that, there's not like they don't live in the real world. So, it couldn't be with just like, I wouldn't
I
want them on
totally
this live.
like
Right, right.
I get you, like with they not living in our world. I just get yesterday by casualty, like I was not looking into puppets, but the Cookie Monster appeared, had a birthday. The Cookie Monster creator had his 80th birthday, and he is also the
Mhm.
Yoda performer. So I went
What?
into his Twitter profile. Yes, this is amazing. Let me look if I tweeted or I liked his post. So he was sharing. I just went to check her tweets because I thought they were gonna be amazing. And actually, the creator of the Cookie Monster was replying to the Cookie Monster official Twitter account, telling them they were taking a piece out of the toilet, how we say it here. Like they were talking about inflation through the Cookie Monster, and he was like, "Cookie Monster is a monster. He's not an adult. He cannot understand the concept of inflation." And I just love it how he nailed he nailed it every time that somebody was trying like to argue with him, and I was like, he was the creator of the puppet. Like just listen to him, like how the psychology of these puppets works, like how these puppets reacts. It's like they had to have somehow space for improv because they are alive. That's the word of the
Right.
imagination of puppets. And I was
That's
just
actually something we
yeah.
sorry, Jose, but that's
Don't
it. Yeah,
worry,
it's
don't
actually
worry.
something we ran into the recently where we talking about like my cousin who's gonna act for the ape puppet, which is his name is Elvin. So me, my cousin, and Marcus got to want to go on and do these like improv sessions now because we realize like we kind of have the concept and everything, but now it's almost like out of that character's act, in different situations. So we want to start having improv sessions where we sit down and say, all right, here's the situation, go,
Dude,
and
that's
then
huge. Because
yeah,
to develop, like, it's one thing when you're like we were talking about before, it's hard to write. Like, you're sitting down at your desk and you're like, I have this idea, it's a funny idea, but then you got to work out how you lead up to that situation, the dialogue in between, how it wraps up. Now, if you're like, okay, let's do a run through, and you got 3 or 4 buddies on a voice call or whatever, and you're actually you now transfer your consciousness to the puppet and you're acting as the puppet because that takes time, I think, to develop any character, right? So like the
yeah.
more that you start actually going in and like improving with the puppet to develop that, even the
Well,
feeling of your own like kind of transfer is huge.
what we realized too easy is that it's also though you want to act it first as a person.
Mm.
Me and my cousin were talking about this the other day, and it was one of the videos that I did dancing with the puppet where I was like in the kitchen, kind of like you could look something like this, and
Nice.
but it worked out for me, and that's kind of what we started talking about. Like we got to have these sessions where we're talking with each other in character.
Right.
How would your character react, and then you can whatever you're doing, then you can translate that to the
Nice.
character when you act it out. You know. So we've been kind of like it's been a lot of philosophy too, like as far as like trying to set this stuff up because it's
Right.
like you think or but then when it gets into practice, you realize that you're a rookie at whatever thing it is. The same thing with making the puppets. When I first started, I didn't know how to sew. You know, so you realize how you get humbled pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I'm checking some of the drops Jose's sharing. Damn, that's a
Yeah, Jose.
slew of
Yeah,
puppets. Damn.
Hey, hey guys! I just found the first picture is the most recent puppets of my aunt. As I told
mhm,
you, the birthday with puppets industry it deceased with the years, but he has all these top notch
yeah,
puppets, and he actually works usually with only one. That is a trending and fashion puppet that works on the TV, but he has this
mhm,
show for kids. And the second picture is my cousin show he had years back, and I wanted to share it because they have like human scale puppets, like costumes,
see,
That's
but
trippy, yeah.
see the face, the
yeah,
shoes,
yeah,
the shoes are handmade, like handmade. No, like the shoes are big. The shoes are really big, like claw shoes. They are just so great, and the conceptualization of the show about the puppets and how the puppets get out there, uh, they tell to the kids to visualize that the puppets get out of the puppet theater and that are with
Mm.
them sharing and dancing, and through the power of imagination the kids are able to manifest these big puppets to dance and interact with them in the real world. But they explain that as puppets, they are only alive when the kids give their imagination to them. And it's just so beautiful how the full overall show talks about imagination and being creators. I think it's one of my top notch like inspirations in life. I was super blessed to have experience to see that show many times, and I was able to see how it never was the same show. I was able to see
Well,
how it never was the same show, and I was asked. I asked to myself, how the fuck how do they do that? They made to the listeners part of the show every time. Dads, mothers, grandfathers, everybody is part of the show, and sometimes you have drunk family members, and
mhm.
that it's always random. And there's a couple of stages where they ask for parents to come to save the show because an evil puppet stole the CD, then a pen drive. Now, what will be the wallet seat address? I don't know how we will put the music now, but the concepts grow over time, and they adapted to the formats that they were being used and to the eras. This show, for a time, even that was a humor for kids, it was also a certain protest in the times that there was no soap, no food, no nothing. My aunt has a time machine type of stage where a crazy doctor created a time machine to go to the dinosaurs era. But when he's explaining the idea, he before he says to the kids in that time, like, you want to go back to the time where we have toilet paper? And that was like a big
Brutal.
boom, not only from the parents but for everybody, because this was so political and incorrect, but the puppet saying it was so powerful and united so much because it was issues that everybody had, and that was always super hard to speak, but through humor it was healing. And
That's
yeah, I can talk about this
that's
for hours. I don't want to do that.
Dude, that's a great point. Also, just to be able to use a caricature to get across a message where maybe it would be less absorbed if you're just a person to person. So that's really interesting. And then the other thing that you kind of fired up in my mind when you were talking about that is, and this would probably be like, something down the line, but maybe you would be able to have some interaction. I mean, this is very different than a live puppet show, but if you have, say, a skit that's going to be released in parts, one part this week, and then you get your next part dropped a couple weeks later or something, there could be some interaction between the community that's watching and the creators, where like maybe you give them kind of like a or B choice. It's kind of almost like a multiple, like a choose your own adventure or something. But you're like, we want you on the YouTubes to vote. Like, does so and so, go here, or do they like, instead they like sneak around to, the back, or whatever those kind of options are, could be really interesting to kind of bring in some of the audience to be able to like push in a direction or something.
That's another good point, Easy. That like I really look forward to like I want to do the SNL stuff. I want to do sketch comedy kind of stuff, but I'm not against other groups wanting to do different styles of things. Let's say, like I'm not against kids programming. I just don't think that our four puppets, me and Mark, is gonna be making no kids
All
programming.
right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we teetered on that, man, for a while. Like we went back and forth, like should we keep it more PC or whatever, and then we got to a point we started writing things and it was like, nah, it's gonna be some adult stuff going
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
It might be more like it's more like a neighborhood, and you have like it's like Sesame
Mhm.
Street. Like we are not reinventing nothing. We are using different formats, but
Right.
it's like you say it. It's just like, and we can have a Christmas special where all these people just hang out. And
Right.
Yeah.
I
We
just
wrote a
imagine.
Christmas special actually last year. It was like the first thing we
Oh,
did, and we realized that we
I love
couldn't
it.
do a Christmas special in 3 weeks.
I love it. I
Christmas
love it.
special.
I
You
want to
got a
share
couple weeks and
something.
like 3 puppets.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just
know.
I
We didn't
just
even
wish.
have Marcus. We had the two puppies at the time. Yeah.
I did
Uh,
like the Where's
yeah, but
Christmas short.
2 puppets and
Sure,
1
not
copy of
special.
Premiere.
Yeah, I didn't even have
I
Premiere
just shared
yet.
a
I was using
video.
Marcus's.
The video that I shared
Oh, it's
is
funny.
he is an actor. This is an actor of impro, and what he does is that he makes a Twitch streams where the audience pays to give him questions and to give them certain type of interactions that are totally part of the impro, and he just nail it every time.
Yeah,
It's just amazing. And
yeah,
what
I can
I'm
see that.
imagining is a tarot card reader puppet that talks with the
Mm.
audience. So the audience will give the script, and you will
Oh,
interpret the tarot
Jose,
card
we
that you
gotta name him
have.
Walter. Wait there. You know what I'm talking
What?
about?
What? Sorry, what?
You know Walter?
Yeah.
We would have to
Wanda?
name that puppet Walter.
No, I don't know that. Please
You know,
show it.
he was a Spanish dude, tarot card reader back in the day, huge famous on TV. Like this guy was big famous. Yeah.
How is the name
All the
again?
Spanish grandmas are shot stopped everything when Walter was on TV.
How is the name of? How is the name?
Walter, just like that.
Walter.
Walter, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few like tarot card readers on television here that are super like famous and that are
Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny to watch because they don't say
Yeah.
nothing about tarot cards. Like they say like Aries, sign of Aries, please breathe and release. And today will be a day that it will be really happy for you, but also sad. So watch out. Taurus, sign of Taurus. This will be an overwhelming season for you, but if you give your best, you will have it done. Keep it up,
Dude.
warrior. And I don't know, they just go and go, and
That's
they
that's a
just
character
say the
right
same
there,
for
bro.
everybody.
Yeah, love it.
And it's just like this, this atmosphere. Like you can smell like the place. Like you feel everything. It's so like I don't know how to say it. I don't have a Spanish or an English word for that, but it's just like mystic, like television mystic. Like it's just so like prefits it. And these dudes, they were like so made up. They look like I don't know. It was always so weird to watch, and was a mix between astrology, but also like feng shui. And it was in the morning. I already have like weird like memories about that show because it was so early in the morning. I was waking up to go to school and was this dude talking. Yes, this is the same shit as Spanish, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like it's the same archetype.
Oh yeah.
Totally. Which amor? Walter Mercado, claro. Now that you say
Yeah.
Mercado, like I can like
I didn't even know
connect.
I didn't even know he had a last name. All the grandmothers just used to say, when Walter's on, there's no playing in the living room, none of that. Like cut it down.
Hell yeah.
So much potential. So much potential. I love it. And I have a question. Like, do you see the picture like with the big puppets? That's a possibility too, right?
I mean, yeah, everything's a possibility. It's just about how to make it happen. Let's say you wanted to do that. That's cool, but how do we get them in the digital? So we have to do the same. It's the same technique of taking away the background, and then how do you want to implement them? What part do they play? That's all it is.
Yeah, seems like a little more complex, I would say, I guess,
Sure
if you're
thing.
using a
It
full
like
body.
iteration and
I
sharing the
don't think so.
concept.
I think it's the same exact process because if you really think I just need to be,
Yeah.
and honestly, with the rotor brush tool, you can really take away any background. It's just easier if you have some like plain color.
Right,
But
right.
if you take a full body thing, like, try to get it as whatever, flat background as you can or whatever, but we could probably make it happen. It might just take a little longer to take that background away. But I would be interested in, I mean, I'm interested in trying things for sure. The whole concept is just keeping them in the digital. That way you have the standard is the hand puppet, a hand sewn puppet over the digital,
Yeah.
We lost Jose, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's probably just a momentary internet lapse. I bet we'll probably have him back
Okay.
in a moment here. Check the chat, see if it's up there. Yeah, dude. So it's like so many possibilities. And so where do you feel like you're at as far as kind of like the Discord and starting to like kind of bring people slowly into the fold?
All right, so I can drop the Discord. Oh, that's not it. I will in a second. I'll drop a Discord link And we're just literally just building that. It was mainly in the beginning just a place for me and Marcus to be able to kind of like interact back and forth.
Right. Drop
Rizzo and
assets
Paradox
and
are in
links.
there just because like when I first
Nice.
started, I was hitting up Rizzo like, hey man, I got
Oh
this
yeah.
thing going on. You know, Rizzo's like my like the litmus test for all my things. Like if
Right.
I have a thing, I hit up Rizzo like, hey, am I crazy or is this cool? You know, like that's
We
so
might
it's just a few of us in there.
might need a little avocado puppet Easter egg
Yeah,
there to
he had
throw in some
mentioned
scenes, right?
no, Rizzo had mentioned about making him a frog puppet.
Oh,
And
nice. Hell yeah.
I think that is probably in the cards if he still would be willing to act it. So um I need to
Dude,
free up the time. That's like in my brain, my time wise, I'm thinking fall. I could probably make that puppet, but I would love to bring Rizzo on just because obvious,
dude,
obvious
yeah,
reason.
hell yeah. I was gonna tag him in today, but I know he like I think just landed in Lisbon or something. But that's I'm glad to hear that you have roped him on it somewhat too. Because yeah, I
But
think
Rizzo's
his
been knowing about this thing since basically the
nice.
inception. Like as soon as I had the idea, I kind of went to him and was like, "Hey, this is an idea I'm going to be working on." Blah blah.
He's definitely got like the mindset to be even if he wasn't necessarily like deeply involved, but to be a total asset. Just I feel like his kind of line of thinking, which is also like bucks against most of the like system and influencers and all that, and then also just
Yeah.
like his kids being so creative and kind of like that like he's got his finger on a few pulses that I think work really well with this.
If I could like picture his character, I would like see it being like the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland. You know,
Nice,
little
yeah,
bit, a little bit cantankerous, but he's all right. He's gonna show you the way. That kind of thing
yeah,
shows up every
yeah.
once in a while.
I like it.
Mhm.
See, I'm gonna actually tag Jose and see if he responds. Hopefully we get him back. But yeah. So we've kind of covered like, generals of kind of where, how the idea has been growing and kind of what direction it in these, kind of early seed stages will go. And I think you dropped a Discord there. Nice. I don't think I actually jumped in yet. Oh, I'm gonna have to kill a server later tonight to jump in there.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I gotta do a server purge.
what's like, next few months kind of look like for like where you'd like to get by maybe, like end of the summer or something? Are you guys thinking like
So
be in production? I mean, I know you've been making stuff already.
right,
But to
right.
go towards like a bigger like, full skit or something.
So okay, so we have skits written that we want to get done. That's for sure. I have the one main skit that we want to get done that we kind of look at as like the main thing is we call the mushroom skit. And essentially it's gonna be two of the characters and it can be any two of the characters. And they start out, one is making spaghetti and it gets introduced that this idea is not done, but it gets introduced that they want mushrooms on top of the spaghetti. And then they sing mushrooms on top of spaghetti, like a parody from what is that song? Spaghetti covered with cheese, on
Yeah,
top of
yeah, yeah. The
spaghetti.
meatball, the meatball
Yeah,
rolls out
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
door and shit. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, like a parody of that song with mushrooms and spaghetti, and then it cuts to the next scene after they eat the mushrooms, and the mushrooms would be made out of like uh
String
knit or
or
something like that.
yeah,
Something,
yeah.
it's that. And spaghetti would be yarn. And so the puppets eat the mushrooms and spaghetti, and then you go to the next scene and it's super trippy and it's just like a plate of spaghetti there. And the two characters pop out of the spaghetti and they are now mushrooms, but colored in their felt, the same color felt that they're made of. And then one goes to the other like, hey, you know what's weird? And the other one's like, everything. And it's like the whole, thing's tripping out. So that's our first like major scale. Again, that's now another 2 to 3 puppets I gotta make though because I
Right.
gotta make mushroom puppets.
Yeah. Plus
But
spaghetti plates and all that. Real quick, there was I think it was Spherical Art who has his Monday Discovering Artists show. He brought a yarn artist one time, or showed this like crazy. It was animated, right? So they would have like little yarn figures. Maybe they like crack an egg on a mini like, frying pan and fry it, and like it was so mind-blowing because I don't know how they got like, obviously stop motion and stuff, but they were really good at it. That could be something even just to watch for like some, some inspiration or something, because it was a while ago. I'd have to look or hit up maybe Spherical for a link, but it was really, really cool shit. So that kind of
yeah, I'm interested
context.
in all kinds of things like that. I definitely want to eventually we're gonna have to link with somebody who's more advanced with video production than we are. That
Hey
way
guys,
we're not
Jose is in the audience raising his hand. Just a heads up.
oh
Yeah, no, I think he's having a hard time getting up because that's the green hand, which is me inviting. He might,
oh
Jose, you might have to jump in and out again or something. We'll get him up.
yeah.
What were you saying though about the I'd mentioned the yarn arts and
Oh
oh yeah, bigger like massive video production knowledge,
yeah,
right?
I definitely want to like connect with somebody who has better knowledge of video production and stuff like that. But to me, it's all as we go. Like we're working with what we have. That's why like the TikTok video has been fun for that. Like you're able to kind of practice doing video editing stuff. You do a little something there, it looks cool. It's not a long video. It doesn't take that much time. So that's been good. But we definitely, me and Mark has been definitely talking about just getting back to doing like it's like one YouTube video and then do a bunch of the short stuff and then go back to doing like a YouTube video that takes longer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that like think about a real content, like a content that you make that has no prefix length because it's something organic where you grab and of course you do some edition and you cut some scenes, but you have a full chapter and that is the whole product with music, with video, with um, partnerships. I don't know. You have,
Mhm.
and then you cut that cake into slices for TikTok. The same
Right.
slices, you market them on Web3 with a different copywriting because you have a different audience there, but it's the same cake. Maybe it
Hmm.
doesn't have a cherry on top. It has a chocolate chips. It has what the audience on that platform likes in the copywriting, but the content is already special. It's already unique. You don't have to be unique in all platforms. That's a tool, but our content is something special. I think that's
Yeah.
a cool approach to the content because in that way you are not working a lot. You are cutting the cake, and you do cakes. you know.
I see. Yeah, it's not one of the aspects that we haven't like I know I'm not the greatest as the social media stuff and like concepting on how to go about it, you know. Like I said, we just been taking it as just doing it taking each task as it comes. So it's like, okay, we've got to figure this thing out. You go, I start watching some videos or whatever it may be to taking that knowledge and try to learn it and then, keep going.
Well, and also Jose had mentioned, music. That's another really cool aspect where you could collaborate with different people, in the Web3 space, and the Web2 space, and the 2.5, whatever. That could be something really cool to be able to, oh, we've got, so and so wrote the jingle for this skit or the intro, or however that works. That would be super
Yes,
cool too, to mixing
and
in
I
specialty musicians for
Yeah,
I,
the
I,
yeah.
vibe.
I dreamed like doing like an official music video with like my family and puppets, like it have been like complex to me to come with the idea, but this gives some light to that, not only for me, but like this can be something so beautiful to, and it's an option for people to not use IA for everything they cannot do, and it's a service. Besides the chapters, besides our cakes, sometimes people ask us to make cakes for them, like, and that's the musical video, or I don't know if it can be like, I don't know. I'm just uh,
Hmm.
I think of about like documentaries, like somebody give you the script of a thesis, an idea, and they want the representation and like puppets. I don't know. That that's so amazing. Like the scale is just, yeah. I'm just looking forward to see more of the chapters. I don't know if you shared this Christmas video.
I don't know this. What is that on the YouTube?
Yeah, I think
I don't
that
know.
was
You say
on
you
the
had
YouTube.
like a Christmas special.
Yeah, we had because we were trying to do the Christmas thing, but it was such a like a deeper
Yeah,
idea that we couldn't finish. But we did that little 1 minute video where we were kind of presenting the concept.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah. I get it. I get it.
It is
but yeah,
interesting to
Like
like go ahead, Jose.
sorry. It's like a set of affirmation that you are all in, like for the Christmas special. This was like, this is a potential we want definitely to make happen.
yeah, man. Because like we really the concept of the Christmas thing, what we were doing there is it's a mix between Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and The Bear Who Slept Through Christmas. And I don't know if you
Mhm.
guys know both of those stories, but The Bear Who Slept Through Christmas was literally like my favorite story as a kid, like like Christmas story, whatever. And it's about this bear who, all the bears hibernate, but this bear wants to stay up and find Christmas. He thinks Christmas is like a tangible thing. So
Mhm.
I figured because the characters were new, that they didn't know what Christmas was yet, so they had to go, find Christmas, and they're like, well, what's a Christmas, that kind of thing, uh, and kind of intertwine it with some Fear and Loathing aspects there. But yeah, again, sometimes I think pretty big, and then you gotta like, what can you actually do, you know?
Right. Yeah. 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 For sure. No, and that's actually a really good just like exercise to like take
Mm.
kind of a grand idea and be like, well, this is something we could do in the future when we have like more crew, more computing power and all that, but to just scale it down to be like the basic message with just a couple characters, that's probably like going to be super helpful
Yeah,
for problem
yeah,
solving and just
like yeah, it's like the creation of common ground, like prime matter, but on experiences together. Like that's the idea of the demos. And if you already know, like the idea works, like we can see that like the idea works. I'm super hyped. But you just have to test the different ideas you have and create an audience. There will be an effective audience, like always. And then what you do is that you polish the product. As you said, like you will get to the experience, you will work with mentors, and that's the potential synthesis of Web3, and that can lead to like independence on who is editing the video, who is you know I think that's the power of synthesis of information of these tools. Like um, you start investing quality time with people from around the world that are passionate in a goal that you can have in common, and that's quality time. And sometimes you don't have that in the local. It's like so
Mhm.
chaotic. Like sometimes harmony is about the right distance, and you have like a lot of people here that are here because I'm talking about the like the OGs, and like the real OGs, like the people who likes this because they have a passion outside of Web3, that like this that is happening here right now. And I just forgot the idea.
Well, I
In
was
the
I
next
was just
chapter.
thinking that Jose had said, oh, people coming to ask you to make a cake, and that's like obviously this would all have to work pretty well, but I think that it can, and when it does, yeah, you'd probably have people like, oh, we would love to have like you guys do something to promote our little project, whether that, fucking Pudgy Penguin or whatever it is, like that could definitely be something that could possibly be like part of the financial impetus down the road, if this gets really popular and has a big
Definitely,
crowd.
definitely something to look forward to
I
in the
just
bull
thought,
market. Like
I
you
just
get
thought,
videos going, and you're in the bull market, you got that thing going. You're like, hey, you know,
Yep.
I just thought about how a web page can look like to show to people where the content is and how to share with them what each content is in terms of, is this canonical, is this a cake we made, like how we can show that in a way that is fun. And I remember the Shark Big token, and they have a citadel to show the overall project. Most of the citadel structures they have are not working because they are like on the first stage of the roadmap, whatever. But like I just thought like, okay, there's a neighborhood where these creatures live, and maybe in that web page there's a section where there is a portal to other dimensions, or there's a TV that has ads inside, and
Mhm.
these are these cakes that we made. But it's not like, it's just like entertainment industry happening in that world. Or like, I don't know, I just shared like the Shark B web page, like all these like places are clickable, and you have like, people can click and they can see like, okay, this is the town square, or like this is the city where the
Oh
real
yeah.
content is. And there's another like, yeah, I think about like another dimension, or like, I don't know, some concept that shows like, this is not our original content, this is content that we do working in alliance with other projects, or like for yeah, we do cakes.
Right. Well, yeah, if, in kind of, as Frankie mentioned, in the grander vision, it's not just like one thing. Like people could be doing like he said, Jose, maybe you're working with a few people on like a really cool children's show, educating about nature or something. Uh
in
Frankie,
Spanish, let's say,
yeah, in
let's say
Spanish.
even add that element. Yeah, yeah,
Right, right. So and then you've got
Even in Spanish, okay.
yeah,
right.
totally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Then you've got Frankie in the doc doing this comedy thing, and then you got Easy and Louie that are doing like this little hip hop thing with like, just as an example, you've got three different projects coming out of the main
Oh my god.
Discord and website. A thing like this little Sharkbee thing would
Yes.
actually be really cool, because you'd have kind of like, you have your neighborhood in the different aspects of, here's the music studio, over up there we got the park, here the park where the kids are playing, over here we got the club, the comedy club. Like I kind of like that just like
Yes.
visual layout kind of that this map showed, that kind of sparked in my head.
Yeah, to me, as
Yes.
you build, if we're building in 3D, like in the end game, like in the beginning, obviously we're maybe just doing,
Metaverse.
2D stuff. Yeah, but if we're doing it in 3D, then you can actually build an actual, not physical world, but a
Yes, yes.
digital
Right.
world that people can actually go visit, and that scene or whatever that is in whatever world that is, you can then add interaction to that thing. So
Oh yeah.
whatever you want to do with that, so like, okay, this is the set where we shoot our scenes. This is the, let's say, the park where Jose shoots like the children's kind of foot, and they might have different kind of interactions, whatever that makes sense to to that scene,
Yeah.
Totally.
and
I
again,
just
that's
had
where
a
you can get
thought
into sponsorships
that
and stuff like that, where
yeah, and maybe between maybe between the this universe, like, I mean, here it is, like, in the videos I'm making, there's a QR code or a poster that is clickable, like it's on the metaverse, and that is a poster of easy shows.
hmm
Like people is saying a total other thing on Spanish, but as this is part of the pop culture of that world, so it's just happened. Like no, I don't know, like there's a graffiti that has like Frankie Needles, like something that is part of that word. There's something like sounding results that it's Louis, baby. You know, I don't know. Like there's things happening that looks like cotidianidad, like regular stuff happening in that word that are regular. Like, yeah, like I don't know. It can be yeah. It's like it can be a cup in the morning of coffee, and it's like it's in crypto. Maybe not. I don't know. We have sponsors, and it's like put your ape in the cups that puppets is the coffee with in the Saturday Night Live shows. Like I don't know. It just changes. I don't know.
It
I
feels
was
like
born
it
Yeah.
this
could
way.
be like a kind of melting pot, where a lot of things are very, you're over here because it's
Filtered.
one token. It's this meme coin. You're over here because it's this PFP. You're over there, maybe you're in a metaverse. It's bringing a little more together, right? But things are still very fractured, throughout the whole space. So it does seem like a really cool way eventually to kind of like tie some different things together, to be like a place where people would be able to come in, have fun, get some comedic relief, but maybe find something interesting, whether that's a regen project or a silly meme token. Like it feels like there could
Well,
be
you can
kind of
even do
access.
you can go a step further than that and make like interactions that like a game within, you know. So now you just have like that area,
Yes.
that virtual space is just ends up being like the platform for whatever game you build on top of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I
that
love it. I love it because
then you
yeah,
can
I
add
love it. That
sponsored content to that
educative,
interaction. You know what I'm saying? Rather than sponsoring
educative,
the
funny.
scene itself, because I've gone through this when I was working over there with James. It was like we were doing whole scenes for these people, and I kept telling them like we should have the proprietary, and then they should want to buy into the thing that we have. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So like when it comes to taking on things, rather than building a whole, it's like, rather than building a whole building for these people, you have the building with the sign on it, just sell them the sign, you
Yep,
know?
yep. They get a piece. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Makes sense. For sure. Oh, here we got from Louis. I'd love to see a skit.
Louis writing skits,
Yeah, I'd
huh?
love to see a skit of PFP project founder and a meme coin founder in their feelings, throwing each other under the bus when the projects go to zero. Hell yeah. Any more questions, comments, suggestions? We're here for it. So throw that shit up or jump on stage.
I
That's
like
good,
it.
Classic.
yeah.
I just love it. It's about how how these archetypes will live if they were roommates. Like how would be the relationship of these dudes? Like being there so close enough they cannot stand with each other. Like the meme founder, the token founder, the degen, the region, the anon. Like it just sounds like yeah. I enjoy the idea.
Oh,
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's Web3. That's not Web3, right? That's comedy. That's like a
Right?
parody actually.
Yeah.
That is like a parody. Yeah, I think that yeah, and that's like the key in all of these, right?
so we haven't figured out how to make these yet, but I want to make this a puppet that we end up spray painting and making like a trash art character that talks like this.
Oh yeah.
We have it's been like so much with the threaded characters that I haven't even got that deep into that. But that's definitely one of our ideas about, and again, just stay tying into, to the roots.
Yeah.
So
You know,
it's about referencing it. It's not about
sorry.
like it's kind of like, I don't know, yeah, smarter comedy as opposed to like, you're not just saying like, hey, this is funny. Remember that meme coin that we all know? It's like, as opposed to an inside joke, I want it to be more of like a joke,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just like
Yeah.
yelling shit at the top of your lungs to get attention, like
Hmm.
speak some shit that actually has like, a few layers where like, yeah, the top layer is comical for anybody, but you get that
That's awesome.
undertow and you're like, oh shit, they just did so and
Yeah.
so, like, you know. So that's
Mhm.
where I just love how this can be for everybody, but also kind of have that like special sauce for the Web3 people that are, you know, that are
Yeah,
knowledgeable enough
it's like
to get it.
it's not
Yeah, exactly.
it's not it's not onomatopoeia humor. Like we are not talking about doing just random like sounds or noise to get like attention, like using the body for humor, etc. But
Right.
like intellectual crack cocaine humor that is hidden. Like actually,
Yeah.
our target is like that. Like our target likes riddles. There is a couple of I just remember a project. This is totally a side stuff, but there is Infinity Keys project. It's a puzzle game. They have
Hmm.
different puzzles and partnership with other projects. And what I saw is that they put Bitcoin, like good amount of Bitcoin, maybe 0.25 Bitcoin inside a wallet, and they throw a riddle to solve
Oh
it
wow.
or something.
It's
And
cicada or some shit.
it's something really heavy metal stuff. Like the riddles, I tried to solve one once, thinking that maybe it can be something doable, but it's so nerd, dude. It's so nerd. And
Mhm.
that's people that is here, and the people who works on DAOs, for example, intellectual crack cocaine with them. They are trying to fix the world, and somehow they want to be seen too. And also there's something that is really powerful for our culture in Web3 culture, that is like the struggles that we have in these areas that are not being talked, because we are always like so political correct in spaces because we are trying to onboard the masses, and I don't fucking know. But I
Yeah.
need a place of catharsis, guys. So I think this
No,
can be something
that's true
interesting.
too, because I really don't interact with that part of Web3 where you got to be real careful what you say. I'm more, I am who I am. You know what I mean? But I like to do the creative stuff. I think it's fun to poke fun at stuff, but never I'm not in the business of creating controversy with these puppets.
Right.
I know
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not really what the angle I'm trying to go down or on any level. There's too much. Me and Marcus had said before. What the hell he said, Marcus, was like, there's too much money out there to be messing around with, like, you know, like creating controversy and doing like fart jokes and stupid shit like that.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
Yeah,
enough
you don't want
Yeah.
to
people.
for yourself when it comes to stuff like that. We don't want to be seen as those guys.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's just like the easiest, most like
Low hanging fruit.
unintelligent,
Yeah.
low-hanging fruit. Yeah, like
Low
anybody
hanging
could do
fruit.
that. So why, yeah, like
Mhm.
it's just so much more interesting and fun to go a little bit intellectual and have that comedy be like something where like, yeah, like
Yes.
maybe somebody that's just like a TikTok scroller of doom might not get it or appreciate it, like whatever. They're just looking for like a quick endorphin hit of like naked boobies or like someone screaming something offensive. Like we don't need that.
Yeah. And like Jose said, then that's how you package that package differently, and you can cut a piece of your cake and put it
Right.
out there, but it's not necessarily um your long term, you know what I mean? That's not the long form product,
Oh,
The
Yeah,
long
I
form
just
product
thought,
would be the longer videos and the things with the bigger, deeper concepts.
I don't know if this is controversy, but I imagine that trash puppet eats shitty projects. So by
Oh yeah. Yeah.
time
We
to
we
time,
we've gone
time to
down that because
I don't know.
yeah.
at least
And
at
again,
least the ones we agreed that like Sam Bankman Fried, and if I don't know, I don't want to talk
mhm,
about it, but
mhm.
it's like
No,
those are stuff
so
that we can put there,
not
and you don't have to say the
that's
name, but you can see like
again
the trash.
where like I think that the the trash the trash puppets, if you envision them being like a different race in this world, you know?
or like a
So like
different
I don't know if
chain.
anybody knows like was like too heavily like knew about Fraggle Rock during the time. But in Fraggle Rock, they had the Fraggles, which were regular puppet size. They had the Doozers, which were little puppets, and they had the big ones. I can't remember their names. But the that's kind of the concept with the trash cans, so that they're like the Doozers. They're like
Right.
another
Nice.
race, and these guys are shitty. They're trash cans, so they're the
Freaking love
annoying
it.
people from Trash Art. They're the VCs that suck. They're every shitty kind of person that you know what I mean. And it's their whole world. They're just being like that to each other. Yeah. Yeah, actually, the trash people would be a good characters to use for Louis skit because you know.
Totally. Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of other areas too. Like maybe, well, this could be like actually possible kind of sponsorship angle. You get like a Vipe vehicle or something that's in there, you know? So like there could be some little tie-ins like that too, where you have like assets, so to say, that might have like, you know, like there's kind of that classic Vipe like SUV that we have in, you know, Hyperfi and Mona and like Diverso and these different areas. So like something like that could be a cool, not to make it featured that you're always like, oh, here comes the Vipe car. No, it's just it has their logo on it and it's like their asset, but it's coming to, you know, knock over the trash cans or give them a ride, or you know, so there's so many
Right.
different things that could come into play. It's kind of never
That's
ending.
that kind of like that subtle what do they call it? Product placement. You know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you know. And that's all available. I mean, what you need to do first, obviously, is get, you know, like you got to get some
Good
eyes
couple
on your stuff. So
skits.
for
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
I just thought
step, step one.
I just I just grabbed the idea of Frankie about like, okay, like it's a game, it's a metaverse game, it's dynamic, ludicrous, entertaining, educative. Slingshot DAO fits into this picture. That can be
Possibly.
something because I just thought about that. And they
Is
have,
this?
you know, Roblox and they have the Centraland and they have all these places. But this is something different.
Very different.
This
Yeah, so
what you do?
I work hosting Slingshot DAO. It's actually like one of the most successful DAO launches I've ever like been a part of, because they spent, you know, a couple years before launching the DAO trying to work out
Mm,
how it's going to work. Basically, the big overall is you've got every month there's a leaderboard of ideas. Now, right now, these are gaming ideas to be built in Roblox. When it started, we had the Sandbox and Roblox up, but it like to monetize Sandbox at this stage was tough. They went Roblox. You got the millions of users. That's the starting point. So right now, every month, any community member can put forward a game idea. You know, you got to have it kind of flushed out. But if your idea wins, you get a couple $1,000 for the person that came up with the idea. You get a bunch of the Sling token, up to 15 grand for a studio to develop your game. And then obviously that IP is, you know, owned by the DAO. Income that comes in goes to fund more ideas. But the overview is that this isn't just like gaming for Roblox or Sandbox or Decentraland. Like it could be any type of entertainment experience IP. So this is definitely something that maybe, you know, they might have interest in, especially if we had like a couple banger skits or something, to be able to either have, you know, sponsorship or some angle. And they've got some, you know, they work with a lot of pretty heavy hitters as far as like people that are supporting it from kind of gaming side and stuff like that. But yeah, good idea, Jose.
yeah, look into that.
Word.
At least to knock the door.
Yeah.
I think that to knock the door in the terms that we like is not to enter, and it helps to polish.
It's true.
You know, it helps
It's
to
true.
polish. So
Totally.
yeah, it's about, I don't know, like we talked about like failure the other day. I think like not thinking like with a failure mindset at all. It's actually a success mindset because
Mm,
like we know there's so much doors to knock on and you can knock them later on. Like you always will do something new, so why not to knock on a door you already knocked it before? Because this is
Totally.
something new. So this is a new no. This is a new yes. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, yeah. I don't
Tell us
think
no
so.
about this.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely something where it could, you know, and I think it's still a little early. Well, probably for both, it's still a little early to try and like form something up, but it's a really good it's a really good avenue to look like, okay, like let's go towards that. Because yeah, I mean they've got great resources and good reach. And like I said, it's really just the gaming aspect is sort of the beginning because that's such a big marketplace, and you can kind of like pull out a success, I think, in gaming if you're doing quality ideas and creation pretty quick out the gate. Where funding other avenues of entertainment and IP is definitely something that is long term goal over at Slingshot too, for sure. Yo, you had to pay in the house. Yeah, we just for Yetipe, we've been jamming on this amazing idea that Frankie and the doc here have been working on for like a year and a half, which is puppet show skits. Kind of maybe you could think like in the vein of Saturday Night Live, poking fun at stuff, not like centered around Web3, but also utilizing the technology and the the ethos and the kind of like interesting dynamics we have over here between the crazy types of projects and creatives we got.
Yeah. Easy. I've got to get out of here pretty soon.
Right on.
But I really appreciate you guys and everybody for listening. Um, like I said, feel free anybody to hit me up and let's talk about it. This I'm just happy we're able to kind of like grow this out now because it's been kind of a hermit project for a while. So it's really nice to get feedback and also just like kind of link up with you guys and kick around ideas.
Yeah.
It's big for us for sure.
No, I'm hyped to be able to help start the kind of flow of a trickle to the homies, start building some awareness around it, get some more of our creative friends involved, and we'll bring you back on. Like, let's do another show in like a couple months or something, and kind of give the update, and then maybe we can enfold a few more peeps into it, because I know we have so many friends out there that I think would be really, really down to, even if it's just like, oh, I want to help a little bit on writing, or I've got I make assets that I'll just like throw you guys some interesting digital trees and whatever it is that you can place around and stuff. Like we have so many different people out there that it's just letting people know, what's up and when the time is right to kind of jump in and get creative.
All right. Well, I really appreciate it. Like I said, thank you guys for listening and hanging out for all that time. And like I said, I'm open. I'm an open book. Hit me up, whatever. Let's talk about it. I'm super, open to trying to figure out different ways to present threadheads and stuff like that too. So,
Sure, dope. Yeah, we'll be well, maybe we'll hop on a call toward the end of the week, you, me, Jose, and Marcus again, and just kind of keep the ball rolling.
yep, that
All
sounds
right,
good.
sounds good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I enjoy the brainstorming.
All right,
Well,
thank you guys
thank you
for
so
having us.
much. I will talk to you guys soon and enjoy the show. Sorry, Jose, I don't get a chance to listen to you play music, man, but I got to get going.
All good. Stay
All
safe
right,
in the
guys.
metaverse streets, yo.
I want to play
Thanks,
really
guys.
fast. I want to play really fast. No.
Bye, guys.
Right on. All right,
It was a
man. That
great
was
show.
such a great show. I'm so excited to have Threadhead starting to come out into the wild more, because it's a freaking phenomenal idea. So I think now maybe
Yeah.
it's time for some vibes.
Yeah, let's do some music. I have so much food for thought. It's so
Hmm.
inspiring.
Yeah,
And it can
truly.
be Web3, and we are the people using Web3, so we can see stuff that can be so cool, and we can knock the door in our terms
Yep.
and iterate, but that's the idea of the autonomy in these places, in
Totally.
somehow meta DAO, not a DAO, but like the possibility of decentralize the narrative and decide to have a narrative and decide to knock the door with that narrative. That's the independent producer figure coming alive globally, and I think it can teach so much. Before the show, I had like a spark of like light, and I thought about like the meta thither.
Yeah.
It was like in these metaverses, I don't know if the actors will have to wear a suit or how that can be done, but it's the meta thither is about noticing that not only where the thither was invented, if I'm not wrong, it's on Greece. I don't know. I don't know. At least there's a
I think
Greek school
so.
of theater,
Yeah.
and this theater, Greek theater school, we're addressing theater as a tool to address like dark stuff or like things from subconscious mind, or like of an evolution tool for people to be better human beings and to know what is to live life and to see from the eyes of performance the realities of
Right.
certain eras, times, situations, or archetypes that can be really similar and different because of the ages and the context. They have something that is universal, they have something that makes them unique, but I think that in a meta theater context, it can help us to notice we have the same issues everywhere. Like it can be so healing for society to have that possibility of the meta theater, because at least the theater schools I had, they have been so nurtureful for me in terms of helping me to see things differently, allowing me to dream, being able to see um, union, with actors who are everybody. They have different jobs, they have different lives, but when they are acting, they are something else, and
Well,
that, yeah, I can go for hours.
it gives such a it gives this sense of freedom when you're using acting to maybe be able to speak on things that, especially maybe in a society where it's like more closed down and you don't have as much freedom to talk about maybe like government or these things. Well, when it's inside a play, inside theater, it kind of lends more freedom to be able to bring up social issues and stuff, even from way back. So yeah, I think just that like decentralized production meta theater is going to give a lot of people hopefully a chance to kind of
Yeah,
get a little bit of their voice for it too. Anybody
and
that
yeah,
wants to get
and
creative.
I don't think about this as a way to change the like real world entertainment into a digital one, or like us being jailed into digital realms. I
Mhm.
think more about this, like the possibility of reduced infrastructure cost for experiments that then it can go in a world tour.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh man,
Nice.
so hyped. Let's do some music.
That's bad.
I have some new headphones.
Oh, nice.
These are Heisenberg Behringer. Because Heisenberg, that is from Breaking Bad. I just love that show. Anyway, this is a Behringer headphones. They were um, they were cheap. They were like a $30. I was able to buy two. The other like options, they were like 120, 160 from Audio Technica,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I was not going to go into those, especially like for a first year, like this gear. Sorry, but um, the thing is that the expensive ones, they are heavier, their
Hmm.
weight, and they can cost something weird in your head. Did you saw those videos before, Easy? The
Oh
heavy
no.
headphones. The heavy headphones can get you a protuberance,
Oh
like
yeah, like actually make like a little
shape
dent
your
in your
skull.
skull.
Yes,
Trippy.
yes. For
Trippy.
hours of use. If you work in the
Right.
audio industry, you cannot have those headphones. Like, this is not financial advice. This is not,
I I,
like,
I
but
saw
you know,
I saw like a just it was like a silly, short that popped up in the YouTube, and it was like a guy who had worn braids for like so many years, and then he shaved his whole head off, and it was like it looked like a watermelon or something. They were like deep, like kind of like valleys, and they were like more like, I guess they were like kind of white, and then the where it wasn't the like super tight braid, it was more like darker
Oh,
skin, and like it looked
like a
like it was
Baloo,
like a football or something. Yeah, it was
like
crazy.
Wilson. I think about
Yeah, it was
Wilson, you
Wilson.
know.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, like like when choosing a product, try to see if it's healthy. Because
Yeah.
with headphones, that's actually quite a mess. I don't know. I'm going to start singing, but have you saw the picture of the man in 30 years of the gamer specifically? They made like the anatomy of somebody now playing for 30 for all his life straight, and the shape because of the mouse, of the keyboard, of this. I'm right now,
Yeah,
this
I am
this
too. Yeah,
posture, and you have to remember that like the posture is so important. I just
man,
forgot it so much. The disconnection with my body and my connection with
totally.
the with my mind.
Because you
Thinking that
connect
all
to
of
the
these.
screen and you're like in. Yeah.
I'm
Whew.
so identified with the technology. I know it. Like we hang out here and we
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it and we use it and we walk like this as if it was a tool, as it was an organ. Like I use this for living. Like
Yeah,
if I go
yeah.
too deep, this is biological stuff. If I go
It's
to that,
crazy.
like if I think about it, like oh my God, yeah. Let's do music.
Woo!
Ahora que el cielo llora, se limpia el callejón, aroma pétrico invade mi pulmón. Ahora que el alma llora, se limpia el corazón, aroma algo dulzón, incienso de canela. Calma, 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 calma. Deja que cese el sonido mental, sienta tu ira y dale agua. Deja que cese el estruendo mental, abandona el nido y mueve tus alas. mueve tu sola. Calma, 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 calma. Ahora que el cuerpo sabe que tienes el control, pues ponlo en acción, construye tu mañana. Ahora que es ahora y tienes la noción, el tiempo se frenó. Construye tu mañana. Calma, 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 calma. Deja que cese el sonido mental, sienta tu vida allí y dale agua. Deja que cese el estruendo mental, abandona el nido y mueve tus alas. Mueve tus alas. Calma, 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 calma. Oh, I'm going to keep rolling a little because I'm leaving in a few minutes, so we're going to do a full set maybe. A veces me aferro tanto a los momentos que cuando se acaban me causan dolor. Y ese es mi karma de tanto soñar, que el tiempo todo lo cambia, que es transformación, que el tiempo es una distancia que cambia la percepción. Tu frío quítamelo, no me entregues nada. La eterna madrugada nos mira en un rincón. Bailaba sin distracción la canción de la muerte. Nuestro código inherente también se hizo canción. Tanto talento que tienen tus ojos tardíos. Muero de risa con todos tus juegos mentales. Ja, ja, ja. El argumento más denso ahora es la brisa de tus valores tan tiernos y tan naturales. Canto y conecto los puntos a tiempo con rimas, y tú no sabes de dónde van mis disparates, que manifiesto seguido en los medios días, que dan color de mi esencia a tus realidades. Y a veces despierto en plena madrugada, como pidiendo a gritos un color, una tonalidad más clara, que luces también color y notas musicales o signos zodiacales. El arte es un motor, tu frío quítamelo, no me entregues nada. La eterna madrugada nos mira en un rincón. Bailaba sin distracción la canción de la muerte. Nuestro código inherente también se hizo canción. Tanto talento que tienen tus ojos tardíos. Muero de risa con todos tus juegos mentales. El argumento más denso ahora es la brisa de tus valores tan tiernos y tan naturales. Cuando conecto los puntos a tiempo con rimas y tú no sabes de dónde van mis disparates, que manifiesto seguido en los medios días, que dan color de mi esencia a tu realidad. ¿Tú quieres cantar? ¿Quién te dijo que la realidad es todo lo que quieres ver? Seguro fue un orangután que no piensa en versos. ¿Quién te dijo que la realidad es solo materia y efectos? ¿Y de dónde sale eso? No te lo dirá. Y la verdad yo creo, sin arrepentimientos, en lo que tenga que pasar. Y entonces lo creo. Déjame soñar, súbete a mi dragón, volemos por ahí. Déjame volar y ser como un turpial al llegar a tu flor. ¿Qué es lo que pasa, niña curiosa, que te sonrojas cuando me abrazas? Verás, yo tengo cartas bajo la manga. Como buen mago no me comporto. Qué peculiar que tengas esa rara forma de pensar, que te preocupen cosas así no estén mal. La verdad existe momentos que no entiendo. Y refutar ese carácter con carácter de león, que hace razón ya solo por mera adicción. Repito frases por dentro para calmarme. Y tú después tiendes siempre a ponerme contra la pared. A veces siento que solo es cuestión de ser serena, nena, un poquito antes de hablarme. De lamentar que hagas de todo siempre una calamidad, y con eso tú me cambies la realidad, que tu libreto es una obra del pasado. ¡Qué falsedad! Así es un drama de un programa de TV, y yo cuestiono siempre todo lo que es. Quizás si es que estoy bien loco de remate. Hace tiempo que buscaba una piel donde tatuarme, una calle para pasearla, agarrado de las cuerdas. Hace tiempo que perdía, ayer para ser exacto. El tiempo en mil tonterías, por andar muy ocupado. La misión, una guerra de miradas, gana el que menos aguante, el que pierda los estribos, sin el que menos se tape. Dices cosas que no pueden salir mal, mientes tanto que no veo la verdad, haces daño, ya no puedo respirar, pero eres necesario. necesaria para andar. Tara, tara, badara, 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 tss, ah. Badara, 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 tss, ah. Badara, 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 tss, ah. Hace tiempo que te veo paseando por las aceras y saltar por la ventana y de cuerdas por ti. Digo cosas que no van a salir mal, miento poco lo que tenga que ocultar. Hago daño, no te lo voy a negar, pero tengo lo que buscas y algo más. Mi misión es perder en tu batalla, pero ganarte la guerra, obsequiarte mi pasado para que veas quién era. Si te sientes asustada, espera a verme ahora. Ya no soy, ya no soy, ya no soy, ya no soy ni mi sombra. Whoa. Ah, ah, ah. Para, para, tarararararara. Ba-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Brindo a tu salud, salud. Tú por tu actitud. Cool como dark blues. Como el cielo azul, azul, azul. Mando bendiciones a larga distancia y es lo que me tiene las manos cargadas de música bonita. Lo que mueva el mundo será tu energía y esa es la verdad que te estaba escondida para tu armonía. Todo lo que siento es pura vibración. Todo lo que siento es pura vibración. Todo lo que siento es pura vibración, pura vibración, pura vibración. Todo lo que siento es pura vibración. And I say goodbye with this song. Uy, sanando así mi pobre corazón, transmutando grado a grado vibración, para hacer una escalera hacia el Señor, de rojo a morado, desde Edo hasta el sí. Canto lo que canto pa' curarme los espantos del pasado y del futuro en el aquí. Sueño lo que sueño pa' traerle al mundo entero la certeza y la alegría de vivir. En cada palabra pronunciada con el alma, destilando la sustancia universal. Hoy, hablando en el silencio de la verdad, descubro que soy la muerte y soy vida. Para hacer una escalera hacia el Señor, de rojo a morado, desde Edo hasta el sí. Canto lo que canto pa' curarme los espantos del pasado y del futuro en el aquí. Sueño lo que sueño va a traerle al mundo entero la certeza y la alegría de vivir. En cada palabra pronunciada con el alma, destilando la sustancia universal.
Woohoo! Peace, love, and whipsy, y'all. Stay
Peace,
away
love,
from
whipsy.
FOMO. Yeah,
keep
hold the
going forward,
vibes.
hold the vibe. Thank you for the space to sharing tunes. See you on the streets of the metaverse. EC, this was a great show. It's a must watch for people to get inspired. I think we throw a couple of really great ideas and let's see where that lead us. See you soon, everybody. Woo!
Yeah, awesome show. I just threw the YouTube link into the live chat. So maybe you just, just jump over there and give it a thumbs up. Maybe we'll start getting some people watching over on YouTube also. So hope to see y'all around, I don't know, tomorrow or something. Stay safe in the metaverse streets. Much love, and we'll catch you soon.
Woo!
Woo.